At 7 p.m. last Monday, a woman named Sarah paid $42 for a $14 bowl of noodles. She didn't buy a luxury meal. She didn't go to a five-star restaurant. She ordered pad thai from a place 3 blocks away while sitting on her couch. She paid a 300% markup for the privilege of not walking 10 minutes. Sarah isn't bad with money. She has a master's degree. She earns $87,000 a year, but she is currently participating in a massive silent wealth transfer that is stripping millions of dollars away from the American middle class. If you feel like you are working harder than ever, but your bank account is staying flat, you are likely paying this same invisible tax. You are not just buying dinner. You are auctioning off your financial freedom one delivery fee at a time. I am Tom, and I am completely obsessed with the hidden mechanics of how the modern economy drains the average American household. I spend my days dissecting the tiny, invisible leaks that prevent hardworking people from actually building the wealth they deserve. I see so many people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s who feel like they are doing everything right, but still feel behind. If that sounds like you, then you are in the right place. To join our community of people who are tired of the mainstream financial noise and want to see the real numbers, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. It helps us reach more people who are tired of being harvested by these platforms. The economy has been redesigned to tax your exhaustion. We used to call this convenience, but that word is too soft. It is a deliberate laziness tax. It is a system built by behavioral psychologists and data scientists to exploit the moment you get home from work and feel too tired to function. This isn't a natural market trend. It is a calculated extraction. You need to understand the psychology of present bias. Your brain is wired to treat a minor inconvenience right now as a massive crisis. Walking to your car to pick up a pizza feels like a heavy lift when you are tired. Meanwhile, your brain treats the $30 in extra fees as an abstract number that doesn't really exist. The gig economy is built entirely on this one glitch in your brain. Companies like DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Instacart do not sell food or groceries. They sell the avoidance of mild discomfort, and they charge a 300% markup for it. In 2023, reports indicated that the average American household now spends over $5,000 a year on convenience services that barely existed a decade ago. This includes delivery fees, service charges, premium shipping, and digital subscriptions. This number has tripled in less than 10 years. We aren't getting lazier as a people, we are being presented with more ways to monetize our fatigue. Let's look at the actual math of a standard food delivery order. When you open an app, you aren't seeing the restaurant's prices. You are seeing a menu markup. Most restaurants raise their app prices by 15 to 30% just to cover the platform's commission. Then you add the delivery fee, which fluctuates based on how much the app wants to squeeze you in that moment. Then comes the service fee, which is usually a percentage of the total. Then there is the small order fee if you didn't buy enough. Finally, there is the tip. If you order delivery just twice a week and each order costs you an extra $15 in fees and markups compared to picking it up, you are losing $30 a week. That is over $1,500 a year. For most of you watching, that is a full month's mortgage payment or a significant car payment. You are essentially working for free for an entire month every year just to avoid driving 3 miles for a bag of food. Grocery delivery is even more aggressive. When you use a service like Instacart or Amazon Fresh, you are paying a hidden premium on almost every item. A 2022 analysis showed that grocery delivery typically costs 25 to 30% more than shopping in person. If your family spends $800 a month on groceries, the convenience of having them delivered is costing you $200 every single month. That is $2,400 a year. Now, add the food delivery tax of $1,500 to the grocery delivery tax of $2,400. You are already at nearly $4,000 a year, and we haven't even touched the supermarket shelves yet. Stop for a second. I want you to go to the comments right now and be honest. What is the most ridiculous thing you've ever paid a delivery fee for? Was it a single coffee, a pack of light bulbs? Share your story below. We've all done it, and seeing how common this is helps us realize how much the system is designed to trap us. The convenience tax exists inside the store too. Pre-cut fruits and vegetables are one of the biggest scams in the modern grocery store. A pound of pre-sliced watermelon can cost $6. A whole watermelon that gives you 3 pounds of fruit costs $5. You are paying a 400% markup for 60 seconds of knife work. The same goes for pre-chopped onions, bagged salads, and baby carrots. Fun fact, baby carrots aren't a breed of carrot. They are regular, often lower quality carrots that have been shaved down by a machine. You pay double the price per pound for the privilege of not using a vegetable peeler for 30 seconds. Look at the coffee aisle. Coffee pods cost between 50 and 80 cents per cup. High quality ground coffee brewed in a standard pot costs about 12 cents per cup. That is a 500% markup. If you and your spouse each drink 2 cups of pod coffee a day, you are spending nearly $600 more per year than if you just scoop grounds into a filter. This is educational content based on historical market data and systemic financial principles. Amazon Prime is a masterclass in behavioral engineering. The average Prime member spends $1,400 a year on the site, while non-members spend about $600. Amazon tells you that you're saving money on shipping. In reality, the free shipping removes the psychological barrier to spending. Because you feel like shipping is free, you stop comparing prices. You stop asking if you actually need the item. You stop waiting until you have a full list of needs. You just click buy now. You are paying an annual fee for the privilege of spending more money more often with less thought. Then there is the furniture. You can buy a bookshelf that is already assembled for $300, or you can buy the flat pack version for $120. Most people choose the assembled version because they don't have time or hate building things. You are essentially paying yourself $180 an hour to avoid a task. But here is the reality check. You probably aren't going to use that saved hour to earn $180. You are going to use it to watch Netflix. You aren't buying time. You are paying a massive premium to avoid a minor frustration. This brings us to the biggest lie in personal finance. My time is worth X dollars per hour. This is the justification everyone uses for the convenience tax. I earn $50 an hour at work, so paying $20 for delivery saves me money. This logic is almost always false for 3 reasons. First, you aren't working during the time you save. Unless you are actually billing a client or working overtime during those 20 minutes the delivery driver is on the way, you haven't made any money. You've just traded cash for a few more minutes of scrolling on your phone. Second, most people cannot simply summon more work hours. If you are a salaried employee, your income is the same whether you spend your evening cooking or waiting for a DoorDash driver. You aren't trading time for money, you are just losing money. Third, convenience spending is rarely a calculated choice. It is an emotional one. You don't sit down with a spreadsheet and decide that the marginal utility of 20 minutes is worth $15. You click the button because you are tired and the app makes it easy. It is impulsive, not rational. If this is making you rethink your recent bank statements, let me know in the comments. Are you a time is money believer, or are you starting to see the holes in that logic? I want to hear your take. If you're finding this value useful, hit that like button so the algorithm knows this is the kind of real talk people actually need. Now, let's talk about the real cost. The lifetime cost. This is where the numbers get scary. Let's say you are 35 years old. You decide to stop paying the laziness tax. You cut out the delivery apps. You brew your own coffee, and you buy whole vegetables. You save a conservative $400 a month. If you take that $400 and put it into a simple index fund with an average annual return of 8%, do you know what that looks like in 30 years? By the time you are 65, that inconvenience has turned into over $600,000. Read that again. Over $500,000. You are potentially sacrificing a massive portion of your retirement just so you don't have to pick up your own Thai food or chop your own onions. When people ask why the middle class can't retire, they look for big reasons. They blame the government or the stock market. But the truth is often found in the $4 service fees and the $6 coffee pods. We are being nibbled to death by convenience. The scariest part of the convenience tax is that it is addictive. Behavioral scientists call this hedonic adaptation. The first time you order grocery delivery, it feels like a luxury. The 10th time, it feels normal. By the 50th time, the idea of actually going to a grocery store feels like an exhausting, impossible chore. You are training yourself to have a zero tolerance policy for friction. And the less friction you can handle, the more the economy can charge you. Companies know this. They spend millions on push notifications and one-click ordering to make sure you never have to stop and think. They want you to be a dependent consumer, not an independent actor. They want your first reflex for any problem to be pay someone to fix it. The system is even more predatory toward those who are struggling. If you work 2 jobs, you are more exhausted. Therefore, you are more likely to pay for delivery. But that delivery fee is a much higher percentage of your income than it is for a millionaire. The laziness tax is a regressive tax. It hits the people who have the least amount of wiggle room the hardest. It offers a 15-minute break from a hard life, but it ensures that life stays hard for the next 30 years. I know this is hard to hear. We all want to believe we deserve these little luxuries. We work hard, we are stressed, we want life to be a little bit easier. But you have to ask yourself, who is actually benefiting from your self-care? Is it you, or is it the venture capitalists and tech CEOs who are taking a slice of every meal you eat? True self-care is having a brokerage account that allows you to retire comfortably. True self-care is not being a slave to an app's notification system. So, how do you stop the bleed? You can't just wish yourself into better habits. You have to re-engineer your environment. Step 1, the audit. Go through your last 3 months of bank statements. Every time you see a delivery app, a service fee, or a premium charge, highlight it, add it up. You need to see the monster before you can fight it. Most people are horrified when they see they are spending $500 a month on things they could have done themselves. Step 2, create friction. The apps are successful because they removed friction. You need to put it back. Delete the delivery apps from your phone. If you want to order, you have to go to a laptop, log in, and type in your credit card info manually. Do not save your card info. If you have to get up and find your wallet every time you want a pizza, you will order 70% less pizza. Step 3, reclaim basic skills. Cooking is not a hobby, that is a fundamental financial survival skill. You don't need to be a chef. You need 5 basic meals you can make in 15 minutes. If you can boil pasta or sear a piece of chicken, you have just given yourself a massive raise. Buy a good knife and learn to chop an onion. It takes 45 seconds. That 45 seconds is worth more per hour than almost any job you will ever have when you consider the savings. Step 4, reframe inconvenience. Start looking at a trip to the grocery store or the act of picking up your own food as an investment. When you drive to the restaurant, instead of clicking delivery, tell yourself, I just earned $15 tax-free in 10 minutes, because that is exactly what happened. That $15 stays in your pocket where it can compound and grow. We live in a culture that wears busy as a badge of honor. We tell everyone how overwhelmed we are. This culture of busyness is the perfect breeding ground for the convenience tax. We use our busyness to justify bad financial decisions. We say, I'm too busy to cook, but then we spend 2 hours scrolling through social media. The truth is, most of us aren't too busy. We are just poorly prioritized. We've been convinced that doing things is a burden when doing things is actually how you maintain your independence and your wealth. Think about the woman from the beginning, Sarah. She thinks she's just buying pad thai. She doesn't see the link between that $42 meal and the fact that she's stressed about her student loans. She doesn't see that her exhaustion is being harvested to fund the next tech IPO. But now you see it. Once you see the laziness tax, you can't unsee it. I want you to make a commitment right now. Pick one convenience service you are going to cut out for the next 30 days. Just one. Maybe it's the coffee pods, maybe it's the Uber Eats, maybe it's the pre-cut fruit. Write it in the comments, I am cutting out X for 30 days. By writing it down, you are much more likely to stick to it. And I want to see which one is the hardest for you to give up. This isn't about being cheap. It's about being intentional. It's about recognizing that every dollar has a job to do. When you pay the convenience tax, you are firing your dollars from their job of building your future and giving them a new job, making someone else rich. The goal of this channel is to help you take back control. We are told that the only way to get ahead is to find some secret investment or a get-rich-quick scheme. But for most Americans, the fastest way to increase your net worth is to stop the silent leaks. It is to look at the convenience in your life and ask, is this actually helping me? Or is it just making me softer and poorer? Imagine your life 5 years from now if you stop paying this tax today. You have an extra $20,000 or $30,000 in the bank. You have better skills. You are more resilient. You aren't panicked when the car breaks down because you have the cash to fix it. That is the feeling of freedom. And it's a much better feeling than the temporary relief of a delivery driver showing up at your door. We also have to talk about the ghost subscriptions. This is another form of the convenience tax. We sign up for a premium version of a site to avoid ads or get faster shipping, and then we forget about it. These companies rely on breakage, the industry term for people who pay for a service they don't use. Go through your subscriptions. If you haven't used it in the last 30 days, kill it. You can always sign up again later if you truly need it. But don't let these companies reach into your pocket every month for a convenience you aren't even using. The world is getting more expensive. Inflation is real. Housing is a challenge. But while we can't control the Federal Reserve or the global supply chain, we can control the laziness tax. We can refuse to be harvested. We can choose the slightly harder path because we know where it leads. Every time you choose to do the work yourself, you are voting for your own future. You are saying that your long-term security is more important than your short-term comfort. That is a radical act in today's economy. I want to hear from the skeptics too. Some of you are going to say, Tom, my time really is worth more than the delivery fee. If that's you, tell me why in the comments. Give me the math. I want to have a real debate about this. Let's turn this comment section into a resource for everyone to see different perspectives. This has been Tom. If this video made you look at your phone differently today, then I've done my job. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We have a lot more deep dives coming into the hidden math of the middle class. Always consult a qualified professional advisor before making any financial decisions. This content is for general education and personal opinion only. Past performance is not indicative of future results. I'll see you in the next one where we're going to look at the hidden costs of the upgraded lifestyle. Stop paying the tax, start building the wealth. See you there.